terms of Liverpool, and we'll get on to Chelsea's element of this soon. You put £110 million bid in, so there's no excuse anymore of no money, but you weren't able to turn his head. And I'm asking you this question because I've had this sent in to me on numerous super chats last night, this morning. What happened to Liverpool's pool? Because you said that if they got a bid accepted for a Chelsea target, one phone call from Klopp and he was there. So I've got to ask you that question as it's straight facts. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
I mean, this whole thing doesn't deny anything I've said over the straight facts, the course of straight facts episodes that I've done. I mean, Liverpool still have the bigger pull. This doesn't prove that Chelsea have bigger pull, because Chelsea are probably going to give him better wages. That's one of the reported things. That's one of the reported, rumors regarding this whole situation. So for me, this doesn't deny anything I've said. The fact that Chelsea have laid down groundwork for 4 months and we were able to agree a deal to begin with Brighton shows that we are that guy. Now the problem for us is currently, as things stand, is we didn't agree personal terms first. We agreed with Brighton first, and every two minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes since I woke up today, there's been different news. Every little bit there's just like some new thing coming out, and it just makes no sense, man. It just makes no sense. This whole situation with Lavia, we came in there, we bid the money, we put the money on the line, and it is what it is. This has nothing to do with pull, because the same way Arsenal are not more attractive than City because they got Rice and not City, doesn't mean that Arsenal are now more attractive. The one guy doesn't change the rule for the overall situation. Because I could have used the same logic for Lavia. Why has Lavia preferred to move over Liverpool than Chelsea this whole time? It's the same stuff. It's not one example doesn't really show it. The reality is we are more attractive than Chelsea, but they've done groundwork for 3 months. And there's something that trumps all of this. If they're going to offer higher wages to Caicedo, apparently, this is just rumors, so I don't really make it up. The rumors is apparently they're offering him 250 grand a week while we're offering him 120 grand a week. That's just a rumor. I don't know if the numbers are accurate or anything. If it is accurate and they've doubled our offer in terms of wages, then fair enough. It's just, if Caicedo wants to choose money over footballing reasons, that's up to him. And I think I've always said, look, money for some players trumps all of the reasons that I always say, because obviously Liverpool are the better project, better players currently, better manager, more recent success. So for me, I don't think this changes anything in my mind. And actually, if Caicedo wants to go to Chelsea over Liverpool because of the wages, then let him go. Let him go get his bag. Caicedo don't owe Liverpool nothing. Caicedo owes Liverpool absolutely nothing. I'm not expecting him to take a pay cut, almost half, apparently, according to the rumors of what they're going to pay him just to come to Liverpool. I don't think that's how life works. So look, if they agreed personal terms, this has been all good for a while. Brighton did set a deadline, and we did pay the money on the deadline. So it's going to be interesting what happens over the next 4 or 5 hours. That's when I think everything is going to be set and done. But as things stand, nothing's over yet. It's not because I think we're going to sign him. I really don't. I still think he probably ends up at Chelsea, but I just don't think it's over yet because the news is all over the place.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, so are you not putting this down? I'm just asking you your general opinion. Sorry, I'm trying to turn this fan down a little bit. It's blowing a little bit too hard. Do you kind of look at this as not an out-and-out rejection? Is this just more, they've offered more money, he's only interested by the money, you still think your project's better? Are you surprised that he's not picking you, though, because of who you are, managers, and where you are? Are you surprised that Caicedo is, in your opinion, just picking the money?
Logic dictates there are only 2 reasons why any player would choose Chelsea over Liverpool. 2 reasons, either money or geography. There is no other reason. Either he wants to live in London or he wants more money, because those are the only things that Chelsea could offer over Liverpool Football Club. There is nothing that Chelsea could offer over us. When it comes to our one, it's obviously we are the more attractive proposition. If we lined up 100 players, 90% of them would probably have Liverpool as their preference. And look, from Caicedo's perspective, make no mistake, I've actually realized today I'm probably one of the more calmer Liverpool fans when it comes to their reaction. Because my thing is, look, there's no one bigger than the club. Caicedo is not bigger than the institution. Our football club doesn't end or start with Caicedo. We're much bigger than that. So Caicedo is not the be all and end all for us. And if Caicedo is choosing the money over Liverpool Football Club, over the stuff that we're trying to do, over the rebuild of a lifetime, if you would like, alongside McAllister, alongside Szoboszlai, etc., then let him go to Chelsea. Go get your bag. I'm not trying to get a player who wants to play for the money. I'm trying to get a player who wants to die for the badge. And for me, if Caicedo wants to leave Brighton more than anything else, he's made it clear he wants to leave Brighton. And any player with sound reasoning, unless it's money involved, which this is the case, would choose Liverpool over Chelsea. And is it surprising? No, because also according to reports, Caicedo doesn't really have the best of agents around him, the best of people around him, maybe aren't giving him the best of advice. So he can enjoy, going to the team in 12th place, the cesspit that's Chelsea Football Club, with no stability whatsoever, but he will get his bag, so he can enjoy the money. But I'm more interested in Liverpool going forward, because that's what I think is even more interesting in this whole debate, because actually I've been proven right this whole time. And this whole situation with the fan base and the Liverpool fans and all this, Terry, how everyone's accountant degrees come out and they all start talking numbers and they all try to convince you Liverpool don't have enough money to pay for these players. Liverpool operate in a different way. Liverpool do this, Liverpool that. So everything I've said regarding my football club is true. Liverpool Football Club do have money but are stingy. Those are two different things completely. Liverpool are not broke. Liverpool have money because we just pulled out 111 million pounds for Moises Caicedo. The incompetence now, we will see going forward how this is going to work out, because it's not just Terry and Hussam and the people watching that know we have 111 million on the table. All the clubs in Europe know that as well. So where do we go from here? This is the $1 million question, because every single person right now knows 111 million has been paid for Caicedo. So they know it's laying down on the table. They know we have the money. So even if he ends up at Chelsea, how do we deal with the situation? Do we show more levels of incompetence? The same incompetence that hasn't gotten us a DM before the first Premier League game of the season. Do we actually do the complete job and sign a centre-back? Do we go back in for a marquee level player? Or do we just do 3 Moneyball signings with that money? Like, do we go like Inacio, Lavia and Andre, for example, and that's it? Or do we go sign a higher level player? There's so many questions to be answered if we don't get them. We put ourselves in a very negative situation currently.
You have massively. You've beaten Chelsea to the player with the club. Chelsea are then coming back and saying, well, we're going to outbid you again. And now you're going to walk away. It's embarrassing to do that. Equally, your club, your main journalists and your top red super fans have pled poverty for many years, including this summer when you walked away from a deal of similar money for Jude Bellingham because it was too expensive. Yes, you've sold players and raised money, but you could have bought Jude and then sold players and raised the money. It's not as if the world of football didn't know what was coming. We, the fans, didn't know what was coming with Saudi. This wouldn't have been a shock to agents and people internally. There wasn't a decision at the 1st of June for Saudi Arabia to go, we're going to boost money into our league. That had been planned for many, many months indeed. They're brilliant business people in that sector of the world. It wasn't a spare of the moment thing. So you guys would have had your feelers out there. You'd have known that people were interested. You could have got Jude Bellingham, but you didn't get him because he wanted Real Madrid. And there is absolutely no shame in being rejected. Because again, my opinion about this is this. I think Liverpool are going to perpetuate these rumors and state that Chelsea are offering double, 3 times the amount of money that we're offering. I don't think it's as clean cut as that. I think they might offer a bit more than you, but why not? You outbid them in the transfer bid. There's no harm in them offering more in terms of the package. Your club's pool, part of that pool is what you offer as a package. So yes, who your manager is, who the squad is, the ambition of the owners, how much salary are you going to pay me? What are the bonuses like? What are the image rights like? That the collective is the pool. In terms of history, of course, Liverpool have more historical pool because they've won more and they're more prestigious. But that isn't the only thing that motivates football players. And we know that for a long time. I think Caicedo gets a rough ride where people say he's only motivated by money. He gives a lot of politically correct answers when, I've seen quotes today where he spoke about wanting to play for Real Madrid, how much he loved Man United when he was younger. All these things are probably true, but he's going to go to the best place for his career. I also think Chelsea are trying to build something very, very substantial indeed. I'm going to move on to Chelsea a little bit later, but with yourselves, Liverpool, in my opinion, look like liars in terms of look like liars to their own fans. They've got more money. They've been scrimping and scraping for Lavia. How must he feel right now? We're told first choice, first choice, first choice. Now it's obvious he wasn't first choice, and you're acting like you didn't have the money to even pay the 50 million, but you just did 111 million on Caicedo. Now, I actually don't think Caicedo is double the player of Lavia. I think he's better, but I don't think he's double the player. So it is embarrassing for Liverpool. Southampton, if they're smart, are going to say it's 65 million pound now or not. And also, if you guys get Lavia, even for the 50 mil, and you don't go out and spend another 50, 60 million pounds on a top class player, if any of your fans forgive Klopp or your owners for that, you deserve failure. And I'm only being fair to you in the same way I would talk about my own football club, because I think what Liverpool did last night, I was impressed. I went, wow. And to a degree, I still am impressed that you did it. But you can't just like skulk away and hide under a rock now. You have to maintain this level of behavior. And listen, Klopp obviously is where I don't even feel sorry for Klopp, because he obviously spoke about the £100 million comment with Pogba today, and had to say he was wrong. Of course, his comments from November have come back to haunt him around we can't compete with the Cities and the Newcastles. If this Caicedo deal was to go through, and there's still a possibility it could in some people's eyes, he would have spent more money than Newcastle and Man City in the last 3 years. Liverpool fans have got to stop defending FSG with this notion that we can't compete with the oil stake clubs. If you actually break it down the last 3 years, the American-owned members of the top 6, top 7 clubs have all outspent the oil state money clubs. It's just a fallacy that we get spun in the media all the time. So look, you have put yourselves in a very difficult position, as you say. You now got to go out and sign 2 top players. Do you think Liverpool will do it, Hassam?
There are two. Before I answer, do I think Liverpool are going to do it? I'm going to say this, right? There's 2 outcomes here. Caicedo ends up at Chelsea, or Caicedo ends up at Liverpool. Caicedo ends up at Liverpool is not that negative for Chelsea, because Chelsea are in a massive rebuild and they've got Poch and blah, blah, blah. They can go get a Lavia and a Tyler Adams and call it a day. The repercussions on us is 100 times more negative. The repercussions on Liverpool Football Club if we don't get Caicedo is 100 times more negative. The reason why the repercussions on us are 100 times more negative is we've shown our hand. And we've proven, every single person who's like me has been proven correct, that Liverpool really do have money, but we're just choosing not to spend it. Then this is the whole problem with this entire conversation, this entire debate. And are we going to go spend the money? Is for me the most interesting part of this entire saga, if you want to call it a saga, this whole Caicedo thing. The most interesting part is, are we actually going to put the money on the table? Because now that you've given fans a feel and a taste that you actually do have money and you can afford the £100 million player, you can afford the £110 million, this begs the question, where's this money been this whole time? I mean, you're talking about the Lavia situation. Just 2 days ago, I went on one of the rants because of the whole Lavia situation. I just lost my mind, and a day later we're like, here's 110 million for Caicedo. It just absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. And you enter this whole situation and you go like, okay, so now there's 2 different approaches for Liverpool Football Club. There's 2 different approaches. Either we now go buy 3 young Moneyball players. I've given an example already, Lavia, Andre, and Inacio as an example. Or we go take that money that we spent on Caicedo and actually spend it on another big player to try get to that level. And for all the people that think fan pressure doesn't work, the negative PR that happens toward Fenway Sports Group after the Lavia thing got rejected, and apparently Chelsea came in for Lavia for 48 million. As soon as that happened, and the unbelievably negative reaction from all Liverpool outlets, from Liverpool content creators, from everyone, make no mistake, pressure works, negative PR works, and everyone was heard. Because when Neville comes out and says, Gary Neville spoke facts, he said stuff that I said, people who don't have any hidden ulterior motives when it comes to Liverpool Football Club, spoke the truth all the way. And he said, look, if we're serious, we go get Caicedo and give him to Jurgen Klopp and go like, let's go and let's challenge and let's do this and let's do that. But that's the problem with us. We always act like we can't afford it. The truth is we can afford it. The truth is we can put the money on the table. The truth is we can do all of these things. But will we do these things is the biggest problem. Because now any serious football club is going to take that money and buy a marquee level player. So you could take that money. You know, there's a name been mentioned 100 million times already, Chouameni. You've got the likes of Barella at Inter Milan. You've got multiple different examples of players that you can go out there.
Barella's like, again, he's not available on the market, but if you've got 110 million for Caicedo, you can go and get Barella now.
100 million British pounds they accept directly. Directly they accept the Barella move. And Barella's a midfielder that elevates us. So I'm so happy that actually after all of this, FSG have actually been exposed. Liverpool Football Club have been exposed finally, because all the accountants and the wannabe, you know, maths people act like, oh my God, we're so broke, we got no money, where's our profit, where's our revenue? Start giving you all the numbers and breakdowns and shit. We do have money. Now go ahead and spend it. And if you don't spend the money, any sane Liverpool fan with like any human being with any sanity should come out and go like, these owners need to just get the F out of here, because there's just no plan. And the reason why this whole situation has happened to begin with is because Liverpool are in panic mode. This is panic mode Liverpool, make no mistake. The reason why we're in this position to begin with is because we panicked because of the whole negative reaction and stuff. We went into absolute panic mode, and we decided to be all over the place. And it's a scattergun approach. It's like, oh my God, Lavia, 45 million, maybe money this, money that, and then boom, 110 million out of nowhere. Even Klopp today was like, we stretched it. I don't believe that we stretched it, but he's got to say that publicly. So now, how are you going to spend that 110 million? Because all of Europe knows you have that 110 million. All of Europe knows. All of Europe has just seen 110 million has been put on the table. So now price tags are going to increase. Oh, Liverpool, we know you have money. So maybe one of the solutions is maybe dealing with release clause players. Maybe that could be a thing where, like, you know, you don't show your hands. But other than that, it's a complete mess up from our part. Complete mess.
I totally